Congratulations. Congs first, congs to us, man. We got it right. It's a back-to-back. Two more tickets are won, of course, yesterday. And of course, the previous day also we got two right. Remember, there was a game that was postponed and Napoli also appeared there, of course, in the ticket that was meant for today. But in that very one, we also got it right. We said winners never quit. And the same on TikTok also we got it right, but of course we don't know the reason. One of the game as well was postponed the game of Imen versus Jong Ajax. So all this, of course, they say Kongs because we got it back, and of course, once a game is being postponed, there is always cash back there. Yes, Kongs to us, winners never quit. I keep saying sometimes you don't need to combine them. Just do the way I said, there it will be very easy for you to actually get it. Winners never quit. Let's start. So today it's a Saturday, and of course it's the day that we are supposed to get something for ourselves today. And I'm starting with Manchester City. That is Manchester United, not City. It's United versus Tottenham Hotspur. It's a good day, in fact, and it's an early kickoff. And always they say early kickoff comes their own ways. But if you to look at, of course, these games between these two teams, Manchester United sits currently on the fourth positions, and Tottenham sits on the 14th positions, with some, of course, in the last 5 games, with 2 draws and 2 wins and 1 loss in the last 5 games. And you see that Carrick boys right now, they're doing quite well. Yes, and those wins that they put against Arsenal and of late, that one gives them actually booster. And look like Manchester United is on it. No return. They are for the top 4 this very season. Yeah. So in this game, of course, we looked at most of these two teams that have ever met, and of course, goals are always scored between them. It is actually in the last 10 games whereby there is no single actually goal scored there. There was just only one that time. But all in all, for us to be safe, I can say that let's go with Manchester United to score at least 1 goal in this very game. At least 1 goal for Manchester United in this very game. Yeah. The second game of the day is Arsenal versus Sunderland. Remember the first leg between these two teams, Arsenal actually pick up a draw against Sunderland. Yes, so I don't know for today what will actually come out. In the last 5 games, of course, Arsenal managed to pick 4 wins and lost only 1 game. And of course, Sunderland lost 3, draw 1, and won 1. And of course, the Sunderland sits on the 8th position, and Arsenal is just on top of the table, Premier League table. They're doing quite very well. That one I'm impressed is Arsenal. The recent form, I hope it will not repeat itself by them not taking this trophy meant for them. Yeah, so Arsenal and Sunderland, this very game, it looks also a little bit tricky. But Arsenal, once they fail to actually score against Sunderland, it will be very difficult for them for this title. So in this game, we are going with Arsenal to win or to draw. We shall guard Arsenal. Yes, in this game, to win or to draw. Then the third one, of course, in this it's Barcelona versus Malca. Still this in Spain, and we know that Barcelona, for some reason, it's doing quite well. They only lost 1 game in the last 5 games. They won 4, and they sit also on the first positions. And Malca, of course, sits on the 14th position in that La Liga game. And of course, you look at these two teams. Barcelona being at home got a pound of winning, so we shall give a straight win to Barcelona. So these are my first package for this is Manchester United versus Tottenham. We give Manchester United to score at least one goal. Arsenal versus Sunderland, Arsenal to win or draw. And Barcelona versus Malta, straight win to Barcelona. Then the second tickets that I can say for this game here, it's Coventry versus Oxford United. Now, Coventry still sits on the first positions, but of late, their recent performance, there are 3 losses and they won 2 matches, which is not that like the Coventry history. And Oxford United on the 1 win, lost to 2, and also draw 2, sits on the 25 positions. And you know that Coventry wants actually to be promoted. So this is the season that most teams are working very hard to make sure that they don't lose anyhowly, either to pick a draw or you win it. So the game of Coventry versus Oxford, we're going with over 1.5 to be safe. This championship, be very careful with them. Anything can happen. Yeah, so over 1.5 works very well for Coventry versus, of course, Oxford United. Then still on that very ticket, a second one, Aurca versus Victoria Guimarães. This is in still Primeira Portugal. Yes, we know that this is always the team that disturbs a lot. Guimarães disturbs FC Porto and Gil Vincent, that we know in Premier there. But Aurca versus, of course, Guimarães, you find that in the last 5 meetings, Aurca has not beaten Guimarães. Guimarães won 3 and there were 2 draws between these 2 teams, but goals were scored. But all in all, for us to be safe as investors, we shall go with over 1.5 for this game. Yes. So that is over 1.5. Then the third game in that second ticket is Celtic versus Dundee. And of course, we know these games are also in Scottish land. And Celtic doing quite well with no loss in the last 5 games, which is really impressing. And of course, Celtic have been doing quite well, that we trust. But he's playing with a team that lost twice in the last 5 games and draw 1 and 2 win in the last 5 games. But these 2 teams have ever met. If you to look at the 5 times that they have met, Celtic won 3, there was 1 draw, and also there's a 1 win that for Dundee picked against Celtic. Now, you see with such a game that it looks very straightforward, but there are some teams that are very stubborn at some point. So still, to be safe in this game, we are going with over 1.5. Yes, 1.5. But some people, once you feel like the odd is small, a straight win can also work for you if you see that maybe you want, because those 2 options can still as well go for these 2 teams. You can choose over 1.5 or you can go with a straight win for Celtic. Yeah, so those are the 2 options I can give you to go with. So that is a second ticket, Coventry versus Oxford, over 1.5. Aurca versus Victoria Guimarães, over 1.5. There's Celtic versus Dundee, also over 1.5, but straight win for Celtic. So that one I gave the purpose of the odd to back it up. Yes, because we give on the VIP and premium. So if you're here for the big odd 10, 15, it is actually not here. So just know that you're in the VIP section, and for if you want more than that, you can combine it all, or you can request that one differently. Then there, of course, the third ticket that we want to look at, it's the Dunfermline versus County Hart. This is in Scottish league, and of course, if you look at Dunfermline, sits in the 5th position, and County Hart sits, of course, in the 10th positions in their league. But remember that Dublin in the last 5 games has won 3, lost 2, and and then Heart, of course, for it, won 1 in the last 5 games, drew 2, lost 2, which is kind of giving us. And I checked on these people's records in the last 2 meetings. Dolphin won all. Cultureline has not beaten. But in this win that Dublin picked, all it says goal scored. Both teams, like, you find that there is always goal. For us, we said we don't want to risk anything today. We must get all our tickets right. We shall go still with over 1.5 for this game. We expect at least the worst 2 goals here. We are expecting that. So 2 goals like this, 1-1, we're right. 2-0, you're right. Whether you cost 5, you're all right. So we're going with that. For 1.5 suits here. So we can. Newcastle appeared now here versus Brentford. Back to Premier League. And this is already the wounded Newcastle sits on the 11th position. And you know that this is not the position for Newcastle, wondering why at this stage they're sitting on that position, meaning that their formation has not been well. Yes, so they've been losing a lot in the last 5 games with only 1 win, which actually I see as if it's costing them a lot. And Brentford proved to be very stubborn, sits on the 7th positions. And these are the teams that you see that are fighting. They want to go for Europa. Yes, a league. So be very careful with them as well. Brentford in the last 5 games, of course, they won 3, they lost 2. And these 2 teams got records whereby Newcastle head-to-head meeting. Newcastle in the last 5 games won 3, and there's no less draw between in the last 5 meetings so far. Since, of course, Brentford get promoted and then the other day played, but no draws. And then Brentford as well, of course, won 2. So in this game still, today, this one also I'll give over 1.5. Yes, because I know these 2 teams, they may set history with a draw, which we don't want, or the game may go the other side, which I can't really tell. But for us to be safe, it's over 1.5. Now, as we try now to summarize with Wolfsburg versus Borussia Dortmund. Now, this game, Wolfsburg sits in the 14th positions with, of course, a single win in the last 5 games with a 1 draw and a 3 loss, which is quite not good for them. Wolfsburg used to do very well, but things change, you know. Once there's a wind shopping, things always change. Yes, the players, and then you get a star that used to help them, it's not there, and maybe already being like good transfer, got being bought with another club. And Borussia Dortmund, yes, not doing bad, sits on 2nd positions, lost, of course, 2 games, won 3. They haven't picked any draw in the last 5 games. And of course, these 2 teams they've ever met, whereby Borussia Dortmund in the last 5 games meeting with this Wolfsburg, Borussia Dortmund won 3, there was 1 draw, and Wolfsburg managed also to pick a single win against Borussia Dortmund in the last 5 meeting, which is okay. But to be safe, you know, this is Bundesliga. So don't be surprised that even still in this game, I'm going to give Borussia Dortmund to win or to draw. I'm going to guard Borussia Dortmund. Anything can happen. Yes, so a win or a draw for Borussia Dortmund. There's a double chance, win or draw. Yeah, so these I can say that, and also let me give people option there. Some people may say, why do you guard? Or 1.5 can as well work as options, of course. can also work. So these are my predictions for today. I always say that winners never quit. Please do it responsibly. There are some people who still would have something to say about it. Yes, some days I say they're very tough, that you cannot tell. Like the game yesterday, the Mets versus Lily, that game ended 0-0, with, of course, you see a red card and you ask what really is happening. And there's some games that you expect to be more tougher and you find that goals are being scored. But I was only happy with the game of Celta Vigo and Sassuolo, whereby we got there three goals. Yes, I always expect, of course, I see there are some open games that goals always are scored there. Yes, we shall continue, and of course I'll be dropping some on my TikTok for games. If you feel still, you can actually also go and pick there and play, because we won, as I stated at the beginning, that we also got it right. You're free at Etap Sports Xtra. Thank you for, of course, subscribing. There are newcomers that I did not welcome. You're very much welcome. You are in the right place. Always, you know that you can't miss at least to get. If you miss not more than 2 shifts, you would always catch something. Winners never quit.